So here we are, the big 100. Disney's officially a century old, and how have they chosen to celebrate? With Wish. I sure wish this movie was better. After a string of flops, Disney really needed a hit with this movie. Not only was the studio hemorrhaging money, not only had public opinion largely turned against it by this point, but the film was a celebration of the company itself and everything it had released in the last 100 years. If this movie were to bomb, it would be deeply embarrassing for the studio as a whole. And deeply embarrassing it was.
Thanks for not eating me, John.
Don't mention it, Bambi.
The idea behind Wish is that a handsome king, Magnifico, the movie makes sure that you know he's handsome and that everyone has a crush on him,
And someone that I like to kiss.
Oh, dear.
takes people's wishes, causing them to forget whatever they had wished for in exchange for granting some of them.
When you turn 18, you get to give your wish at a ceremony. Then once a month, he grants someone's greatest desire.
But after our main character, Asha, has a meeting with him in which he tells her that he has no intention of granting her grandfather's wish to inspire people because it's too vague and therefore dangerous.
It's too dangerous.
Dangerous?
Too vague. Create what? A rebellious mob, perhaps? To inspire them to do what?
She turns on him, and for the rest of the movie plots to bring him down and return everybody's wishes to their rightful owner.
It's not fair. They deserve more than...
I decide what everyone deserves.
Now, here's what confuses me. Did she not already know this was the case? Everyone knows that he only grants one wish per month. This is established to be common knowledge. At the beginning, Asha basically spreads pro-Magnifico propaganda.
Do you cry? Oh, no, and you won't even miss it when you say goodbye.
But after her meeting with him, she acts like the fact that he doesn't plan on granting everybody's wish is a terrible revelation.
Most of these wishes will never be granted?
Was it not already obvious that he can't grant everybody's wish if he only grants one a month? Asha, can you do math? At its core, Magnifico's ideology is actually quite reasonable. You can't just grant everybody's wish willy-nilly. Society will collapse. The film even alludes to some tragic backstory for him where his family and homeland was destroyed.
When I was young, my entire family, our lands were destroyed by selfish, greedy thieves. If only I'd known magic then.
But it's never elaborated upon. He might have a sympathetic reason for acting the way he does, but we never get to find out what it actually is. In an attempt to make him seem like an unreasonable evil villain, the writers add in the caveat that he could give people back their wishes, but he won't because he's mean and he wants to hoard them.
Can't you just give them back?
Excuse me?
The wishes you're not going to grant, you could just give them back.
They give their wishes to me willingly, and I make it so they forget their worries.
The point of this is just so that it's easier for you to side with Asha. Why is he doing this? Because he's evil. He snaps when, like, just a few locals question him.
How do we know our wishes are safe? We never see them.
Why can't we see them?
Why can't we remember them?
How brazenly they question me.
And in case it wasn't clear yet that he is in fact evil, he sings a song about how he's evil, and it's probably the worst Disney villain song ever.
I let you live it for free, and I don't even charge you rent. I give and give and give and give.
Dude, think they'd all be content.
And this is the thanks I get.
This is awful in every way. If I could kill it, I would.
See this kingdom, I built it up, and you still complain, ungrateful much.
This is disgusting.
And the song ends with him turning to a book full of dark magic, which corrupts him even further and makes him yet more evil. That really is a trend with recent Disney films, isn't it? So Asha wishes upon a star that there was something she could do to take down Magnifico, and what do you know it, an extremely marketable star plushie thing shows up to grant her wish. It also makes it so that her goat sidekick starts talking, so that it too can be a marketable plushie.
I'm talking. I am talking. Ah, who knew my voice would be this low?
Isn't the joke where a cute animal starts talking with an unexpectedly deep voice still so funny after all these years? But despite the fact that the star is seemingly invincible and all-powerful, it doesn't actually do very much to help Asha throughout the movie. It's still pretty much on her to do everything. There are points throughout the movie when Asha needs to sneak somewhere to steal something or gather some information, but the star could easily have done it on its own with no risk, but you know, that would have been too easy. So she shows up back at the castle, and it takes surprisingly little convincing to get her friends to commit treason with her.
You've been deceived. Magnifico is not the man he claims to be. A revolution. One thing he can't keep down.
songs in this movie so bad. Then even Magnifico's wife joins in on the rebellion because, did I mention he's evil?
In him, I've watched it melt.
But unfortunately, they're too late to stop him. He's gotten so evil that now he's just announcing to his people that he's evil and he hates them.
There will be no more hope, no more dreams, and no escape.
It is you who betrays your people.
Nope, 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 nope.
And intentionally turning them against him for some reason, even though that he pretty much had them wrapped around his finger and could have gotten them to do anything he wanted.
Mirrors, mirrors on the wall, who is the handsomest? Me!
Excuse me, why didn't he say of them all? It didn't even rhyme. What the hell, Disney?
I win!
And then it immediately blows up in his face when he gets defeated by them utilizing the power of prayer. My favorite.
Will be greater than all his magic combined. So I make this wish. So I look out at the stars just like me. I
It's one thing to have a cartoonishly evil villain. It's another thing for the movie to establish a tragic backstory and semi-understandable ideology for its villain, and then have him simply announce to the world at large that he is evil, and then get trapped inside a crystal forever.
That is not funny. Get me out of here at once.
No.
There was potential there. This seems like a huge missed opportunity to explore an actually interesting character, and on that note, this film really struggles with its characters. There's very little that can be said about any of them.
This is objectively impossible.
Take Asha. Asha is the main character of this film. Now, most Disney protagonists have some kind of dream that motivates them to keep pushing through the hardship that life throws at them. It could be anything: to open a restaurant, to sail the seas, to be a good king, to become a treasure hunter, to rebuild a broken family. Clear goals with deep personal meaning for the characters. It's a Disney staple, which I'm sure is why they chose to make an entire film about that very concept, wishing upon a star. So, in a film that centers around wishes as an idea, you'd expect the main character to have some kind of lifelong wish that drives her. Right? The fact of the matter is that Asha has no discernible goals in life other than to overthrow Magnifico and to save the day. She wants to see her grandpa's wish get fulfilled, but that's not exactly a character-defining wish of her own. It's just a wish for another wish to get granted. So even when the movie was given a golden opportunity to shed some light on what kind of person Asha one day wants to become, it shies away.
Well, I think this wish just speaks to her character. She wants nothing more than her family to have everything they could want.
I find it a unique I Want song that is so generous. Usually when a character sings about what they want, it's personal.
We don't get a sense of what her passion in life is. At one point near the beginning of the film, we find out she's an artist.
I like to draw. Is this anything?
But this is never mentioned again and goes nowhere. Maybe her wish could have been to pursue a career in art. Or if you want to go in the other direction, why not fully commit to making her wish be that she wants to grant other people's wishes? Pure selflessness. It could have been what makes her kind of special and the perfect candidate to overthrow Magnifico. The movie came so close to doing this. It gave her a wand and everything, and then she doesn't use it for anything interesting. But we just never see her attempt to help anyone with their own personal wishes other than her granddad. For a film about wishes and how important they are to people, it's odd that we only actually learn about two named characters' wishes. So allow me to try to reimagine the plot of this film a little. Imagine if Asha actually did wish for the power to grant other people's wishes, and she was granted power like Magnifico's, making her the anti-Magnifico. Asha could go running around granting wishes for people in secret, forming a kind of underground wish society. It'd be like Wish Fight Club. But of course, in doing so, Asha would inadvertently begin to destabilize the island, especially when people start weaponizing their wishes against their rivals. Of course, Magnifico would eventually catch on to the fact that something was off before realizing that there was another sorcerer threatening his status as the town's only wizard. This would provide him with a much more understandable reason to freak out and go crazy, unlike what's in the released cut of the film. And hey, if you want to tie up some more loose ends, why not reveal to the audience that he made the same wish as Asha long ago and started granting everybody's wishes, just trying to do right, but this recklessness is what caused the unnamed, vague, terrible thing that happened to him in the past. I could see how granting the wishes of society's worst people would be a problem, and now he's afraid of ever repeating the same mistake, thus explaining his paranoid state of mind. This almost feels like such a no-brainer. I'm kind of surprised it's not in the movie. As for the ending, there are multiple ways it could be improved. At the end, Asha and Magnifico could have a showdown between their ideologies and maybe come together and realize that people should grant their own wishes instead of relying on magic or stars or whatever.
Now, you can make it be.
It's so simple.
Maybe a wishing star's job should be to guide people instead of deciding their fate for them. But again, he doesn't have to be a complex villain for the movie to work. He can be cartoonishly evil. Just make him fun evil instead of lame evil. The characters are the core of the movie, but unfortunately everything around them is kinda lame too. The movie is shooting for a storybook aesthetic by making everything look watercolor. Cool idea, right? Kinda. Not executed well though. Everything looks kinda smooth and textureless. The colors look washed out. There's no motion blur, which people generally associate with the kind of cheap 3D animation you'll see on TV shows. And the backgrounds are always in focus, meaning the shots have no depth. And trust me, the complete lack of focal length in any of these shots starts to look bizarre after a while. Let's just compare it to another movie for a second. Look at this shot. See how the background is out of focus so that the characters and the foreground pops out? It looks like that for a reason. On the other hand, with this movie, I have to keep reminding myself that it's not a PS3 game. But hey, at least they were trying something new with the visuals. There are certain shots here and there I can appreciate for their creativity. The music, on the other hand, I cannot compliment at all. The music in this movie is bad. Like, really shockingly bad for a Disney movie. The lyrics have already been made fun of to hell and back, so I don't think I even need to get into that too much.
Here's a little fun allegory that gets me excitatory.
I'm a star.
Watch out, world, here I are.
But everything else about these songs just isn't good. The vocals are all overproduced and compressed to the point of sounding like a robot. The melodies are a generic attempt to copy Lin-Manuel Miranda's style without any of his talent, and the majority of songs don't advance the film's plot. In most Disney musicals, key story events happen during songs, making them feel like they're woven into the narrative. Here it feels like the plot just stops dead for a few minutes so that Asha can have a dance party with some forest animals about how she's a star.
When it comes to the universe, we're all shareholders. Get back for your system.
If you can cut almost every musical sequence out of a film and have it not affect the plot at all, that's a red flag.
See, that's where all the balls of gas come from.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
Okay, look, I'm being very mean to this film, but the truth is that it does a lot of things competently. There are worse Disney films than this one. At least it ticks a lot of boxes that a Disney film should tick. But that's part of the problem. This film feels like it's doing everything by the book, as if the execs are scared to take any risks whatsoever, instead favoring mediocre predictability.
How can we ever thank you?
That's easy. Just keep wishing.
Well, since this movie was viewed as being so important, it seems like Disney execs tampered with it a lot. You may have seen cool concept art of the scrapped Starboy character. Hell, there's even a fully voiced animatic scene of him shapeshifting into various animals with Asha up on YouTube. And yes, it is more fun than any single scene that made it into the final movie.
Whoa, look at me go! I had no idea horses could move this fast. I mean, their eyesight is trippy, but yeah, that's better. I wonder if I could go even faster. Why would humans ever walk on two legs?
We could have gotten a likable genie-esque Starboy character, but this movie was put through the rewrite ringer so many times that we got a marketable plushie instead. Also, originally there were going to be two villains, Magnifico and an evil version of Queen Amaya, and they actually seemed to have chemistry too.
Amaya, darling, did you hear me? I am impatient.
I heard you. I'm coming. And lucky for you, I'm devilishly good with a pair of tweezers.
What are you doing?
Mireille, darling, sweetheart, baby, Pookie, please do not devour those wishes. That one's my mother's.
In that case...
Be serious.
Why did we get robbed of this? We've never had a Disney film where two villains shared the spotlight before, so it seemed like this movie almost tried something new, but then it got stamped out at the last minute. Who's responsible for these changes? We'll never know. All I know is that this movie seemed like a bunch of theoretically good ideas that went horribly wrong.
And
I actually made it this far without cracking a joke about how this is what happens when you order a Disney movie off of Wish. So, round of applause for me, guys, because I did it. You know that video you just watched? Well, guess what? It was actually a snippet from a larger video that you can watch here, if you have the time. I mean, I guess it's up to you. I would recommend you watch it, but you know, it's your call. I mean, I don't have time to wait on you anyways. I got birds to feed. But please watch it.